Hi folks, Sky here of course, just checking my new camera. Time for a sty story. I haven't done many sty stories over the last year or so. Time to catch up with them. Now this sty story goes back to when I was a teenage boy, and it has to do with a death in the family. Now, there's nothing funny about a death in the family, but there's something kind of comical about a little discussion that went on pertaining to this death. Now you're going to see me in this video, which you won't see me often, and that's indulging in one of my few indiscretions, and that's smoking. The reason you're getting to see me smoke is because I've got a new rule. If I've worked for 6 hours, I get to have a smoke. If I hike for 6 miles, at the end of the hike I get a smoke. Now today, I only hiked about 2 miles here at this location, but earlier I had hiked into a couple of lakes. Each of those were 3 miles plus, but I never had a smoke. So I'm catching up now. I'm having my smoke now. And I don't have a lot of daylight left, so I'm catching this smoke while I can, and it's while we're doing this video. You probably won't see me with a smoke again. Now what I'm going to be discussing actually has to do with smoking, and it actually has to do with drinking. Now I want all the young viewers out there, all you young folks that watch my channel, take heed. This is not an example. Don't fall for it. Don't ever stick that cigarette in your mouth. Don't start. Don't do it. In approximately 4 months, Sty will have been smoking for 50 years. I'm the luckiest old bugger you ever met. I've lost several family members, 2 of them my siblings, to cancer. Don't take it lightly. Do not start. Don't start smoking. It's a habit that's a bummer to break. And there I go, smoking. Well, it's too late to fix old Sty, I guarantee you. It's not that they haven't tried. They've told me, they said, oh, you should quit. You'll live much longer. I'm in my 60s. How much longer am I going to live without smoking? An extra couple of days or so? Too late. Too late for this old boy. Not too late for you young ones, so don't start, and if you did, quit while you can. Okay, on with the Sty story. The title of this Sty story is, I knew that'd kill him. I knew that would kill him. Okay. Now years ago, like I said, I was a teenager. We had a family member. I believe he was my mother's second cousin. Once, twice, 3 times removed. I don't, yeah. Anyway, so he's a shirt-tail relative to me. He's not, you know, not that tight of a relative. But the old boy passed away. Now he was much older than my mother. I believe he was 87 years old. That's old, 87 years old. You had a long life if you lived to 87. That's a good one. Well, My mother says, we need to go attend his funeral. We all knew him. We knew him quite well. And we said, yeah, Ma, we understand. We'll go to his funeral. So we took my mother to his funeral. Now, my pop had passed away by this time, so it was just my mother. So we take my mother to the funeral. We get to the funeral home, and we get in there, and here's all the family. The whole family, they call it, you know. So, everybody's sad, and oh, he's gone, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's walking up, taking a look at the old boy, you know, his final rest, you know. So we're up there. We walk up to the casket, my brother and I, with my mother. And she's looking at him, and she says, boys, now I want you to take a good look. And we said, yeah, Ma, okay, we're looking. We're looking at a dead guy. And she goes, now you remember, he was drunk most of his life. He was such a heavy drinker. Drank. We said, yeah, we know that. Yeah, he always had a jug on him. That old boy could drink. And she said, and he smoked his whole life. And we said, yeah, that's true. He smoked like a chimney. You know, boy, he smoked 4 or 5 packs a day, that guy. And he was smoking Camel Straights. Here I am coughing, talking about smoking. Okay, anyway. Finally, I turned to my mom and I go, hey, Ma. Okay, he drank his whole life and he smoked his whole life. And she goes, you boys are missing the point. I've been telling him for years that would kill him. And sure enough, all that drinking and smoking finally killed him. My brother and I looked at each other, we just looked at my mom and we go, but Ma, he was 87 years old when he died. And she goes, yeah, and all that smoking and drinking killed him. We were so confused. We walked out of there. My brother and I got off to the side, and I asked my older brother, he's my older brother, I go, does she know something we don't? Because the way I see it, I think he died of old age. I'm pretty sure of it. Because they said that they found him dead in bed, that he died in his sleep. That's typical of old age. I mean, old people, they go to bed one night, they just don't get up the next day. And especially if you're 87, it could happen. Well, my brother told me that our mother was a firm believer that if you ever drink or smoke, that if you don't die from an accident, every other reason you die has to be because of that drinking and smoking you did through your life. So, my mother, God bless her soul, she's passed away now, but God bless her soul, she went to her grave believing that her second cousin smoked and drank himself to death at the young age of 87 years. I mean, all the years he had ahead of him, if he would have just quit smoking and drinking, that old boy would still be here, and I think he'd be about 159 years old or something like that. Okay, so is Sty going to be around for a while yet? Oh, heck yes. Unless they find me some morning and I didn't wake up, I must have died from all the smoking and drinking in my life. And I don't plan on it. No, I don't. I better quit now while I'm ahead. Okay, folks. That's kind of a dark, humorous side story, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Her second cousin drank and smoked himself to death at the young age of 87 years. So, there you go. There's a sty story for you. Hey, I couldn't have picked a better backdrop, could I, for doing a sty story. Isn't it beautiful here? I'm out here at Lost Creek Falls, and you know Sty, he loves the waterfalls, and just enjoying the day away. One day off, and it's going to be a good one. Yeah, if I don't die from smoking and drinking myself to death. So, okay, until next time, folks, great to have you along. You would not believe how much I appreciate your views. Hit that thumbs up for me, would you? Hey, you all have a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.